Tracking phone conversions. So we're going to talk about how you can track how your receptionist and front desk are handling the phone and how you can monitor it and make sure everything's heading in the right direction. So most dental practices convert 30 to 35% of new patient inquiries into bookings, okay, which is quite low. And I was quite surprised to actually see that statistic, and because our practice started at that number, really. When I started asking around, I realized most dental practices are around that number. So with the new mindset of sell, 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 book, 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 every single phone call is a booking, every single booking is asked to bring a friend, every single person that shows up is asked to buy a new product or book another service. With the change of mentality and better training, your reception staff should be converting towards 70 to 80% of new inquiries into bookings. And tracking is really simple. All you really need is an Excel sheet. So because we have multiple practices, we use a Google Docs Excel sheet where it's in the cloud, it's managed and can be viewed across all clinics and all people from home, this and that. Well, I like to see from home. But if you've only got one location, one practice, one computer, you can just have a normal Excel sheet on your desktop. That's fine. I'll run you through what to have on it. There we go. So the Excel sheet headings. So these are the headings you would have at the top and then filled in each day as you go. So you'd also have the date. So what day it was, the receptionist that's working, the number of total phone calls for the day, the number of new patient phone calls for the day out of that total, the number of phone calls from existing patients, so patients that were confirming, canceling, or asking questions or anything like that, a number of non-related phone calls such as telemarketing or just fluffy phone calls, and the number of new inquiries that didn't book, and the reason these new inquiries didn't book, and the number of bookings made. So I know it sounds like a lot of numbers to be tracking, but a lot of the stuff in the middle is really to make sure that all the numbers are adding up correctly. The main thing you're really looking for is number of total phone calls, number of new inquiries, phone calls, and the number of bookings made from those new inquiries, and then the conversion percentage, which is the number of bookings divided by the number of new patient inquiries, not divided by the total number. Does that make sense? So you're looking for conversions of bookings from new inquiries, not bookings from the total number of phone calls, because then that will drag it down and will be unfair on the receptionist. All right? So it's got to be completed, the Excel sheet should be completed throughout the day, every single day by the receptionist working. If you've got multiple receptionists, usually there's one receptionist that's dedicated to the phone. That will be her or his responsibility for the day. And what we like to do in our practice, and it's up to you whether you'd want to do it in yours, I like to incentivize the Excel sheet. So we do $100 at the end of the month. For us, it's the receptionist with the highest conversion, but there's a few different ways of doing it. So you can look at incentivizing the receptionist with the highest number of bookings as an absolute figure, or the receptionist with the highest conversion rate as a percentage, or you can reward the entire front desk team for the total bookings of the practice. So once they hit a certain target, or again, you can reward the entire team once they hit a certain percentage conversion. With these details in hand, you can see very quickly how well your practice is performing. You can see where you need to improve and how you can improve it. I also started adding in, and I think I mentioned it, yeah. So the reasons why inquiry didn't book. That's a really new and interesting thing that I started to add. Another heading I had for that, so within the same column, so either reason why they didn't book or the last question they asked, to see why, to try and get a hint into what their mindset was or what they were thinking. So whether the last question was pricing, or do you have evening appointments and you don't, or do you have a deal on this or deal on that, whatever. You're just trying to find out why they didn't book and how you can start making changes in your practice so that when more people call and ask about these things, you can bring more of them in, and therefore you can convert more of them into your patients.